Hi, my name's Chelsea Domain and I'm the owner of I Am Hair. We're a curly hair cutting salon in Tasmania, in Hobart. We like to do things a little bit differently. And today I'm going to show you how to do a curly haircut on a live model. Thank you for coming in today and being my model. I'm so excited to get your hair cut. So we're going to create a beautiful curly shape for you today. So my first question would be, are you happy to keep the length that's in there, or do you want to bring that up a little bit? You will lose a little bit of length as well with what we call shrinkage. So we'll probably cut it just a bit longer to be on the safe side, knowing that you'll get that shrinkage probably to about here.
Yep.
So we want to be cutting at eye level and we want to be able to see the length as well. So always good to stand back and just assess where the guide is going to be for that. So I'm just going to go through now and take this length off at the back, remembering to allow a little bit extra for shrinkage. With more advanced curly cutters, often we don't do sections with the hair, but for the purpose of the video, I feel like sectioning will be really valuable. I'm going to begin in the middle. So that way I'm looking at the natural fall as well. We're looking at shrinkage. We're probably going to lose about a curl's worth of length once it's properly hydrated. So that's what I've done. I've come down a curl longer than what I want it to sit at. What I need to be thinking about is that it's a layered fringe. So it's not a fringe that's all going to sit at one length like a straight haircut. I want the curls to sit in their individual homes. So I'm elevating the hair and I'm using a technique where I grab the hair and the clumps of curls with my fingers. That way I can see individual curl clumps and I can cut on those clumps. I'm not using a huge amount of tension in my hands. I'm being quite relaxed with that, but I am creating what you can see is a hook shape with my fingers. That again allows for extra roundness for the haircut. So now I'm working on the back, and what we want to do is connect a bit of the fringe to the back, but we need to ensure that this fringe goes gradually from shorter to longer. So before I go into the sides, I'm going to do a little bit of a cross check at the back. I sometimes feel like I'm a bit of an air hostess where it's like, prepare the cabin for landing, cross check all cabins and doors. And when you start curly cutting, you might find that you're taking a lot off with the cross checking, but that's okay. That's why we cross check. And over time, you'll just get a feel for it. You may have noticed I do this flicking technique. What I'm doing with my fingers is I'm just dropping out my thumb. I'm using my little finger, my pinky as a stopper for the blade to stop swinging, and then I'll clump my hands together. And I'm just lifting the hair up. And again, it's really clear to me, from here's my shortest length, here's my longer length. This bit doesn't need to be there. Often we think we have to towel dry the hair before we shampoo or condition. It's the polar opposite with curly hair. Once I learnt that, I started doing the same thing for straight hair, and the results were amazing because you really put in the product into the hair and you're also putting in hydration. So whether it's protein or moisture that you want to enrich the hair with, the product will travel further and better into the hair if you thoroughly saturate it. So that's the key two things. It sounds simple, water, hydration, product, moisture, but I think once you really understand that, you understand why it needs to be 100% wet. The wetter, the better. Okay, now that we've rinsed the hair bath, the curly hair bath, we're going to use the curly hair mask. I also like to think of hair like a plant, especially with curls. Some of the shapes I find thinking about petals and the way you'd like make petals frame a face. And I think with giving the hair hydration, it's the same as a plant. We need to water that. And then nourishment through moisture. So that's where our products are really important and key. So firstly, I go through the hair using a raking technique with my hands. So pretty much open hands, roots to ends, working the product through. So this just does a little bit more work than what my fingers initially did using the raking technique. I'm going to use a little bit of water and I'm using this cupping method with my hands. So almost for every stroke through the hair, I'm going to cup some water in my hands and I'm going to work it through. So when we're drying the hair now, we're just really slightly wringing it out so it's not dripping wet, but still super duper wet. Now for one of my favorite parts, we get to choose which products we're going to use. This is like your hardcore gel, and because we're in a tropical environment here, we have a lot of humidity and moisture in the air. So this is going to be our game changer in preventing that from penetrating the hair. Now I've got it set in the position that I want it, I am going to go through and do a little bit of twisting in this fringe area just to break up those curls. So I'm twirling it right from the roots. You'll see as I'm pulling the section out, I'm using my fingers, I'm almost like raking the product through a little bit more. So I'm just going through and doing just the top layers, because underneath that will form its natural curl anyway. The hair falls differently once it's below the occipital bone, but up the top we've got gravity wanting to pull it down. So that's why we comb it in the opposite direction to what it naturally falls. So I'm going to use medium heat and high speed. One of the other key things is patience. Make sure that we give it enough time to dry. Let's get started. Are you ready, Sahara? Yeah. How you feeling?
I like it.
You like it? Awesome. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully you've either thought about the next video that's available, which is our other curly cutting methods, or you can also bring me into your salon and maybe we could do it in person. Great. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.